Hey everyone, what's up? It is about 12:07 p.m. It is August 26, 2018. Sorry for the lag there. But yeah, it is August 26, 2018. Like I said, it's about 12:08 p.m. Pacific time. And as you can see, I am here with a new live Topics on My Mind video. Yes, a new live Topics on My Mind video, and I do apologize for any lag, any distortion, kind of, as I've mentioned before. I have the XB6 um, modem by Xfinity. It is 100%. Sorry about that. It is it's up there, but like I said, it is basically the emphasis on this. The emphasis on this XB6 modem is the fact that it's more about Wi-Fi than Internet cable. So anytime somebody apparently jumps on their Wi-Fi, whether it's a fellow Xfinity user or AT&T or whatever, apparently it likes to knock us out. It kind of knocks whoever's on Wi-Fi at that time out so that they can make some room for whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So yeah, sorry, I was just looking at something there for a second. But anyway, yeah, it's just like I said, I do apologize for that because it might just you might get a lag or something. And it's like what's going on kind of deal. Well, that's basically what it is. Is it's more along the lines of it's a lag that you know only happens, or just interruption that only happens due to the fact that, like I said, other people like to jump onto the they like to jump onto the Wi-Fi and it knocks you out. You know what I'm saying? It kind of knocks you out. So basically, it's kind of hard to get back on, and well, not hard to get back on, but it's more along the lines of it's just something that they need to fix if they're going to be selling, issuing these kind of devices out to people. Anyway, though, yeah, as you can see, this is a topics on my mind video, and I got about 6 topics I want to try to talk about here, but while I got the chance, while I got the chance, because some of them people may relate to or understand. Some of them maybe not. Who knows? Some of them you may relate to, and some of them you may not. Um, I'm just looking at something here. So yeah, it's like, just like I said, just got about 6 topics on my mind to discuss. Let me see if I can find what they are again. Hold on a sec. I have to go into my edit thing, and again, I do apologize for anything. But yeah, just 6 topics. Basically, the first one's kind of an easy one, talking about the new additions to me and my family's DVD and Blu-ray collection. Second one about WWE 2K19, my thoughts on what that's going to be like, and hopefully, what issues have been addressed. The third one is about could a Disney afternoon television universe work? The fourth is about season 8 of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic ending early this week in other countries like Sweden and France. The other one, gonna try my best to discuss what I know about it. James Gunn, will he be brought back to work on Guardians 3? And then the sixth and final one will be we'll be talking about what will Avengers 4 be like, and possibly a little after that, just a little bit more discussions. So yeah, let's talk about let's start off, of course, with the one that I am going to start off with, and that is, talking about basically, talking about basically, talking about, like I said, just looking at something for a second. But yeah, just talking about some things on my mind here. Hold on for a second. But yeah, I wanted to talk about basically, I just wanted to talk about basically, first of all, the new additions to me and my family's collection, if you will. And what are those new additions? Well, over the past several weeks, I've been buying some new stuff, and I've got to be a little bit more careful now as we get into September, and the fact that now I'm just getting like a check every 2 weeks, which isn't a bad thing because apparently our big bonus from our share incentive at my job is going to be coming. I just don't know when, but apparently they're planning a celebration for that. Sounds like it's going to be a big one. But anyway, long story short, I did get some new additions. I got some new additions just back on Friday while I was also shopping for my mom, and part of those things that I got my mom is part of the new additions. For example, with my mom, I ended up getting her the third God's Not Dead movie, which apparently my nephew and his girlfriend say is really good. I got her The Last of the Mohicans, which is about $7.50 at my job, and both on Blu-ray. And then because it was the only copy they had in there, and I seen it before, and I don't know if maybe somebody. Well, I tried hiding it at one point. It didn't work. They found it. I don't know if somebody else tried to hide it, or they just ended up getting another copy in or something. But I ended up also getting my mom the complete series of Laverne and Shirley. She used to watch it back in the 80s and the 70s. Mostly as I was growing up in the 80s, she would watch it on television and reruns, just like she does now with the Golden Girls, and what have you and stuff. So yeah, I ended up getting those for her, and she's actually happy to have them. As far as I'm concerned, and I also got a few CDs for her as well. I got her the Judd's kind of greatest hits. It was like for $10 or something like that. I don't know. I got her Eric Clapton, Complete Clapton, which is a two CD set. As well as I got her the Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again soundtrack. And I can tell you this, my older sister, when my mom tried showing what I got her, kind of like raised her eyebrow because apparently my older sister is not a fan of Mamma Mia. It's like she gave it a chance and it's like enough's enough. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that. I don't know what to tell you on that. Um, but yeah, she, but yeah, my older sister's not a fan of Mamma Mia anymore. Um, but as far as I'm concerned, I ended up getting myself a couple of things as well, um, which is the norm. Which is always the norm for me. But I also ended up getting myself some stuff before that. For example, I ended up getting myself the Death of Superman movie, which just came out, the new animated version or take on Superman. Matter of fact, this here it is right here. It's the limited edition gift set, and this is 17,873 out of 50,000. So that's not bad. It's 17,873 out of 50,000. Even says it right on the back. It comes with a figure and all that. So I ended up getting it. It's also the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray does come with a slipcover, which was a surprise. I opened it up and it had the slipcover on it. So that was kind of a surprise in its own right too. As a matter of fact, if I can pull it out, I'll show you. See, it comes with a slipcover, which is pretty cool. And I know some people will probably get a steelbook version at certain retailers, and some might get the Ultra HD one, which I still might get as well, because one of my plans, inevitably, is to either in my room or in the living room is buy a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player, even if we have an HD television, because I think either way it's supposed to work good. I'm not really sure. And then, of course, when I was getting my mom her stuff, I also, like I said, got myself some new movies. And we got Deadpool, which I could have got the 4K version, but I didn't see it. I have to look if maybe I missed it. Deadpool 2, the Super Duper Cut Edition, which also includes the unrated, I think the unrated and theatrical version. Yeah, I think it does. It includes the theatrical and unrated cut, but a super duper cut. So yeah, I ended up getting that. And then because it's 4K, and I figured, well, the 4Ks are going to probably sell out a lot more because this is one of those movies that if you have a 4K television or even a 4K player, you want to watch in 4K. Now I do have a 4K player, I believe, in the Xbox One S, from what I understand. So I ended up getting myself Avengers, of course, Avengers Infinity War. Yeah, the Cinematic Universe Edition. I ended up getting that on Blu-ray in 4K Ultra HD. So I ended up snagging these as well. So as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes on Blu-ray and DVD and Ultra HD, I'm basically up to date. Hold on for a minute, folks. I got a falling tower here. See what I mean? Hold on a second, folks. Got a mess here. Be a second. Just be a second. Hold on. Just be a moment. Be a second, folks. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Had a leaning tower. Had a bit of a leaning tower there of DVDs and Blu-rays. Had to unexpectedly do a reorganizing, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, like I said, those are some of the new additions that I got. And like I said, I do plan to get a 4K Ultra Blu-ray player, even though my Xbox One S is supposedly one. But the only problem is I can't hook that up to the living room, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, that's what I have. As far as the new, that's what we have is sort of basically up to date as far as the Blu-ray and DVD collections go. Next up, hold on for a sec. Let me click on it for a moment. And again, I do apologize for any lag. Next up, okay, the next topic for discussion here, I should say, is WWE 2K19, which is scheduled to come out, I think, in early October. Early October, it's supposed to come out. So, yeah, let's talk about that for a second. I'll just put it this way. I don't think 2K19 has become very, very favorable. I mean, 2K18, since since it got released last year, has become very favorable with the audience. You know, I mean, there are some graphic improvements. You could tell they're working with a new engine, but despite that, despite the new engine, they're still working off the same template, if you will, that goes all the way back to, I think, even the PS2 days, or at least the first the first WWE game on PS3 and Xbox 360. It looks like they're going off of that. They're capitalizing. They're still using that template. Like, they got a new graphics engine and everything that's helped out. You can definitely see that, but it's still going off of the same, not graphics template, but basically the same modeling template, the same structural template here and there. I mean, yeah, they've made a few improvements, added a few moves, stuff like that, but it's still basically the same game engine mixed with the same mixed in with the same with a different graphics engine. It's like it's a new engine kind of in a sense, but it still relies on the same template or same file that every other game before that, since I believe, like I said, I believe the first WWE game on PS3 had, and Xbox 360 was released. That's what it's been relying on, and a lot of people basically feel that, honestly, the time has come to fix that, and apparently 2K is going to fix that. It sounds like apparently now with 2K19, but with 2K20, they're going to fix that. Apparently, it's like they're going to try to do a complete overhaul. And if that's the case, hopefully they're working on that now. Excuse me. But like I said, hopefully they're working on that now, because of the fact that if you don't start working on putting down the foundations to revamp and make the series, or kind of really help take this series to that next level, like you say you're going to, then yeah, nobody's going to really trust you in the end anymore. I mean, it's already being reported numerous times by numerous sources that, well, basically WWE is not too happy with 2K. Like, there's some kind of infighting or something. And it sounds like at times, from what I'm hearing, that 2K is on the verge of being on the outside looking in when it comes to WWE game developing. And if that's the case, if I'm 2K, I do what I can to improve my relationship with a company like WWE, because if they're paying me to create a video game series based off my product, then I'm going to want the very best. I'm not going to want to have a rehash every year of the same game. You might as well just do an annual. You might as well just call the game WWE 2K and announce that every year you're gonna put out a major update that's going to basically be, just a major, which is basically going to be include, I should say, updates to the rosters, updates to match types, new, game modes within the game, like customizations and stuff like that. You might as well just do one game and then announce that every year you're going to do an update for it, so that basically you won't have people on your butt all the time about just basically this way you won't have people on your butt, getting on you all the time, year after year, saying all you're doing is just releasing an updated version of the same game for a $60 price. If you're going to make a game that's worthy of being $60, then you need to make a game that's worthy of being $60, if not more so. Again, you can add in all the new features and all that. You can add in tower mode, which apparently they took, if you will, inspiration from Injustice and Mortal Kombat, and I think even the Street Fighter series. They took inspiration of this tower deal from that. So the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, what they need to do is, like I said, besides adding in all these new modes and just basically with those being the exception, just updating the game by doing an updated roster, by just updating the roster. What they need to do, folks, is they just need to do a complete overhaul. And if that's what they're saying they plan to do for 2K20, then fine. It's about time. But if they're just saying that and then the end result, I should say, in the end, is basically the same game, but the graphics and games, the new graphics engine and the new game engine are all new. It's all new, but yet it's still the same game. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, you might have less glitches, you might have less hiccups, but if it's basically the same game as what we've had previously, all you've done is just, create yourself a new, make yourself a new game engine out of it. It's not going to help. I mean, if you're planning to say, hey, look, we're going to, switch things up and make things all new and make things more exciting, then fine, go and do it. But if not, if I'm WWE after 2K19, if 2K19, even with AJ Styles being on the cover, and you also selling a limited edition $80 Ric Flair edition, a Ric Flair collectible edition of the game, even with those being the exceptions, if this game does not succeed, then if I'm WWE, I look for a new game developer. I look for a new gaming partner. And you know what? There's a place called NetherRealms that would definitely be the best option to start with. I mean, look what they've done with the Mortal Kombat series and the ever popular Injustice series. Basically, they've taken those properties and improved on them and made them into the fighting games that people want them to be. They listen to the fans. And also, they listen to the fans. So if I'm WWE and 2K19, like I said, even with AJ Styles being the cover star for the game, and also along with also selling a limited edition Ric Flair version of the game, basically with all those items and collectibles. If that doesn't help this game succeed, and this game ends up going from this to that, then if I'm WWE, I seriously start thinking about partnering up with somebody else. I really do. And to me, the best choice would be NetherRealms, because NetherRealms listens not only to the people that they're licensing the characters or licensing the product from, but they listen to the fans and what the fans want to see. And most times, the end result has been positive. Both Mortal Kombat games, outstanding. Both Injustice games, outstanding, because they listen to the fans. Did you think anybody at the beginning of this year would ever expect we'd be getting the TMTs in Injustice? No, but we got them. And this is almost a year after the game's been out. NetherRealms continues to update a game like Injustice to make you feel more fresher and new. 2K could take a lesson from that when it comes to the WWE series and just update the game aim for the next year or so without having to rush out a new one, so that way they could take their time with 220 and actually release it in 220. If you know what I'm saying. They can actually take their time with that. So if I'm 2K and I'm WWE, I work it out to when I release this game, I make the announcement that the next one, 2K20, won't be released until the year 220, and that throughout the next year or so, they will provide updates. They will provide updates to the roster, to the overall game itself, the customization, stuff like that. That way, you make the game feel more refreshed. You make it feel more playable. You give it more value for its buck, or for the bucks that people are spending on it. You don't just say, "Oh well, here's the next. Well, here's this game, and then the next one." You don't rush into another one. If you're planning to make 220 a vast improvement, if you plan on basically making it entirely different, similar but different, but basically playable and valuable to the folks that will enjoy it, then basically wait until 220 to release it. And if you have to, take a page out of NetherRealm's book and just constantly update this one to keep in step with what's happening. That's all I'm saying. And I think anybody else watching would agree. So, enough on that. Enough on that topic. Hopefully, like I said, WWE, hopefully 2K and WWE will listen to the fans this time. All right, third topic to talk about: could a Disney afternoon universe work? Like I was saying, could a Disney afternoon universe work, folks? That is the biggest question, I think, coming out of the new DuckTales series that just finished up its first season. I mean, even though I didn't watch the series myself, and you think, being someone that grew up in the 80s and everything, that I would have watched it, because apparently a lot of people enjoyed this. A lot of people got a kick out of it. And I don't blame them for liking it, because apparently it looks really good. It looked really good, especially the finale. Heck, even I was talking about it. Yeah. Okay. Jonathan's The Homemade series. Hello out there. But yeah. But yeah. The one thing that this new DuckTales series did that a lot of people loved was it made a lot of references and acknowledgments to other Disney afternoon shows. In fact, it canonized some Disney afternoon properties into the world. One of the biggest ones is Tailspin. How? Well, you had the acknowledgement of Cape Suzette at the beginning of the series in the first episode, the pilot, and in the finale, in the season one finale as well. In fact, the brochure that Donald held had the words Cape Suzette done up in the same lettering style that the Tailspin logo was done in, which is, I think, pretty awesome. And then, I guess earlier on, I don't know what, many episodes or several episodes before, you canonize the fact that the gummy bears are part of this series in some kind of ancient way or something. Hold on, let me check. Here it is. Gummy bears, Ducktales. Let me see. And again, I apologize for any interruptions. Oh, for a sec. Trying to look up information here. And that's my dog in the background. Yeah, apparently the Gummy Berry Juice made an appearance in the DuckTales reboot. Let's say, okay, the episode was episode 17 of DuckTales from the confidential case files of Agent 22. So yeah, Gummy Bears is now part of the DuckTales canon. The Like I said, Tailspin seems to be part of that. So now the question basically is, could a Disney Afternoon universe work? Did they provide? Hold on for a sec. Did they provide enough information? Sorry about that, folks. Be right with you. Sorry about that. My dog wanted a snack. We got those little meat bites, as they call them, or whatever. So she wanted a bit of a snack there. But yeah, it's but yes, again, sorry about that. But yeah, the question is, could a Disney Afternoon universe work? I mean, DuckTales, basically, from my opinion, I'm sure the opinion of many other people, has set the foundation, if you will, for this to occur. You know, just looking at some of the pictures here, and the fact that they referenced the gummy bears is really amazing. And the fact that it's part of lore, DuckTales lore, is even amazing more so. So yeah, I have to look into it more often. But it was actually pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool to see that they acknowledged it. Acknowledged it and kind of basically said, yeah, they're part of the lore. But again, like I said, could the Disney Afternoon universe work? And I think it could, because when you lay the foundation, basically, um, for for the possibilities to happen, I think you have no other choice. I think you have no other choice but to go that route. You have no other choice but to say, hey, let's try this out. Because, I mean, look at the fact that, again, you canonized Cape Suzette, Tailspin, essentially. You have freaking Don Carnage make an appearance in the series. And now you even acknowledge, the gummy bears' existence, part that basically makes them part of the mythology, basically makes them part of the history of DuckTales, basically the medieval history or whatever. You canonize Darkwing Duck in a sense, and Saint Canard. You canonize Goof Troop in Spoonaville. So what's stopping you from taking that next step? I've been saying, you know what? We've canonized these. We acknowledge their existence. Let's take it to another level. I mean, to me, I think DuckTales lays the foundation for a Disney Afternoon universe to occur. I mean, when you think about it, everything that's needed is there. You've already established the lore, the connection that Gummy Bears has with DuckTales. So why not do that? Why not connect the Gummy Bears? Why not make that connection even more? I should say, why not make that connection even more suitable than basically more suitable by making a sort of prelude series, which essentially Gummy Bears was originally, but not in any connecting way. But now that you got that connection, why don't you make a new rebooted Gummy Bears series as sort of a prelude to DuckTales? Like, you're talking about referencing what happened. Why not show it? I'm just saying. And then, on top of that, you acknowledge that Tailspin exists in the world. Why don't you create a connecting series retake on Tailspin to go alongside DuckTales? So if you want to do a crossover, there you go. You might even, heck, you already did it somewhat with Don Carnage. And heck, if you want to establish that Darkwing Duck is sort of like fictional in this series, you can go with that too. You can create a series based off the fictional series of Darkwing Duck in DuckTales. You can create a series based off that. Or whatever. You got so many possibilities. Heck, you even look at Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. You might say, oh, well, they'll never reference those guys. They'll never do that. Some people say they already got referenced. But if not, that is the second most popular series you have, if not the most popular sometimes, in the eyes of a lot of fans. So why not try that out? Why not say, you know what, we had a successful run with DuckTales, currently still do. Let's test out Rescue Rangers. And there's so many stories you could do with Rescue Rangers that fans have been wanting to see done or wouldn't expect to be done. Did you think, honestly, fans would have expected you to go down the route that you did with DuckTales, with the new DuckTales series, by adding in the fact that now we're going to bring in Della Duck? Do you think they expected that? No. Do you think they expected any of this overarching seasonal story arc, to come to its fruition when it did? No. Did they expect the series at times to get as dark as it did? No. And that's the thing with Rescue Rangers. You could do the same thing with them. There's a lot of stories that can be told. Think about Gadget's past. Like, what happened to Gigor? What happened to her father, Gigor Hackwrench? What happened? How did he die? Or how did he disappear? Or something like that. There's so many references. And the one thing that DuckTales did is it also brought in some classic characters you didn't think they would bring in. For example, like I said, they brought in characters you wouldn't expect to be brought in. And to me, they could do the same with Rescue Rangers. Think about this. Everybody loves Khalees, right? Khalees was the first female love interest of Chip and Dale back in the 50s and 60s. What do? Oh, I know. Let's bring her back in. Let's make her a part of the new series. Or you take a look at Tammy and Foxglove. They became so popular that when Boom Studios did a revival, Ian Brill, I think that's his name, did a revival through Boom Studios, he brought them back. Heck, he made Foxglove an integral part of the series, of that reboot. Or that rebooted, reboot, yeah, but that rebooted continuation, if you will. He made her an integral part of the team. So when you think about it, you can bring them back. You can introduce them and bring them back, make them integral parts of the show. Go from there. To me, it works. It's something that works. And I think everybody watching knows that. Like I said, I think I think I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And so I got distracted there for a second. I was just looking at something. But like I said, everybody knows that you have an opportunity right in front of your hands, right in front of you to go that route, to introduce, even through this reboot, introduce Tammy and Foxglove again, but instead of just one-offs, you bring them back. You bring them back and have them be an integral part of the show, just like I said, Aaron Brill did with with that little comic book continuation of Rescue Rangers, a retelling of Rescue Rangers. I think the opportunity lies right in front of you. It really does. Lies right in front of them, right then and there. And you got right then and there. And you got other shows you can capitalize on that were part of Disney Afternoon. You can capitalize on the success of DuckTales by launching reboots or retellings or continuations. Like I said, Gummy Bears, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, Goof Troop, they're not the only ones. Heck, you can even go as far as bringing the Wuzzles if you want to do that. Or, you know what? Some people may or may not like the show. You can bring Bonkers back. Heck, you want to do many people feel that Bonkers had potential to be good. Here's your chance to really make up for that. By doing a Disney Afternoon, or by doing a retelling, a reboot of Bonkers, the way people felt it should have been done, or the way it should have been done, or was originally planned to be done in the first place. The opportunity is right there in front of you. So again, could a Disney Afternoon universe work? Yes. Could a connecting universe work? Absolutely. It's already being set up, in my opinion. But could we get Disney Afternoon inspired reboots of other Disney Afternoon? What I'm trying to say is, could we get reboots of other Disney Afternoon shows? Oh, absolutely. Again, just like the connection of these Disney Afternoon properties has already been set up in DuckTales, doing shows that be a part of it as well, part of that universe that kind of help really connect it, would work out as well. Again, like I said, Gummy Bears could definitely work out as a prelude to DuckTales. You could do a connecting rebooted series of Tailspin. Same with Goof Troop. You can do a series on Rescue Rangers, Bonkers, Darkwing Duck. The opportunity lies right in front of Disney right now. It lies right in front of them right now, and they need to capitalize on it. They really do. They need to capitalize on it while the iron's hot, if you know what I mean. So, could a Disney Afternoon universe work? Absolutely. Like I said, the foundation's already be set. All that has to be done is for Disney to take advantage of it and strike while the moment is hot. That's what they need to do. All right, number 4. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Season 8, scheduled, ladies and gentlemen, to come to a conclusion on October 13th and possibly 20th, but most likely October 13th here in the United States, and scheduled for an early release come September 8th and 9th in Australia. We'll be getting an early release this week, courtesy of Nickelodeon Sweden, TFOU-Max On Demand, and other parts of the world this Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah. This Tuesday and Wednesday, Season 8 will be coming to an end in Sweden, Denmark, Norway, France, you name it. It seems Sweden gets the English language version, so that's a surprise. But yeah, all these places, all these other countries we'll be finishing up season 8 of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. And all I can say is, why? This is a prime example of, if you're going to air a series, and it's going to be a series that's distributed around the world in different countries, make sure you have it noted that the series and the episodes along with it air nearly simultaneously and nearly at the same time as everywhere else. Now, I've talked about this before, I'll talk about it again. The only reason this is happening is because a lot of places around the world, a lot of countries, have different air times. They have different air schedules. Like I mentioned in one video, TFOU-Max or TFOU-Max on demand in France apparently has something that has a deal to where it's every Thursday, or every Tuesday, I should say, every Tuesday, they release 3 new episodes of My Little Pony on demand. So yeah, that's what France does, and that's why they're pretty much getting the rest of season 8 this week. Supposedly this week into next week. Same with Sweden. Apparently, Sweden has a Monday through Friday deal, which means they'll be getting the series before the series is over, or before the month is over, which should be around next week. And then Boomerang Australia, sorry about that, Boomerang Australia is getting it on September 8th and 9th, because that's how they air it. So yeah, here in the U.S., we'll be a month behind, while the other countries will be a month ahead or a month and a half ahead. It's kind of the same situation like last year when The Perfect Pair came out, that episode, everybody was looking forward to it. Guess what? Everybody got to see it before the initial hiatus here in the U.S. And even though we pretty much knew what the episode was already about, commented on it, reviewed it, yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I had to pop my elbows there. But yeah, it's kind of that same situation to where as soon as we get to October 13th, we'll pretty much already know what the series finale, season finale was about. Pretty much. I mean, heck, I have about 6 to 7 episodes downloaded, courtesy of Facebook, Dailymotion, YouTube, you name it. And they're just ready to be placed onto DVD, courtesy of my Windows DVD maker. So basically, if I wanted to binge watch the episodes, I could. I could. And in that way, I give you a review on each and every one of the episodes before that. Before they actually officially air. Heck, Cartoon Gentleman's already doing that as well. In fact, Cartoon Gentleman, Dark Horse KC, they're all doing this already. All because Hasbro, with all due respect, doesn't know how to basically make sure that when a show is aired, like I said, around the world, that it's aired simultaneously, nearly simultaneously, and nearly around the same time, so that there's no real spoilers before the actual air date in the country of origin. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you live in Sweden, you live in France, you live in Denmark, this week and towards the beginning of next week, you'll be getting the rest of the season. And if you live in Australia, you'll pretty much be getting it on the second Saturday and Sunday of September. So yeah, season 8 of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me there. Is pretty much coming to an end at the end of this month and towards the early portion of next month. Well, we here in the U.S. have to wait till October 13th. Yeah. There is some good news, though. It's kind of, well, maybe not so good news, whatever. The Best Gift Ever, which is the upcoming My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Christmas special or Heartswarming special, is going to be released on DVD and possibly Blu-ray, most likely DVD, on November 7th. So basically a month or so before its premiere on television. But I don't know if that's just the UK or we're also getting it. It's probably for worldwide distribution. But yeah, the DVD for that special will be released in early portion of November as far as Amazon is concerned. So yeah. That's what's happening there. So yeah, as far as My Little Pony Friendship is Magic goes, that's what's kind of happening there. You know, season 8 coming to an end in most countries that I just mentioned by the end of the month, and during the early portion of September in Australia. So yeah, if you live in those regions, have fun. Have fun watching it. Again, I just wish Hasbro would make better decisions when it comes to the airing of these kind of shows from a worldwide distribution scenario, so that way everybody watches it at the same time or nearly at the same time, so there's not that many spoilers or not many people ahead of the others. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it for that one. Next up, basically, will James Gunn be brought back to work on Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Now, I don't know exactly what occurred with James Gunn, but apparently he had a falling out, apparently with Disney. Something happened. In fact, let me look it up, hopefully without any interruptions. Oh, it's because he did. It's because some. Okay, here's the thing. James Gunn was fired basically due to some offensive tweets that he had done, I guess, a long time ago, and I guess he deleted. But just like with anything in social media, they got unearthed. Yeah, they got unearthed. So, yeah, due to Disney finding out about these offensive tweets that he did long ago and hopefully and I guess in his eyes, hopefully deleted, he got removed. Now, not a lot of people are happy about this because he was one of the driving forces behind the Guardians of the Galaxy series. And basically, these are offensive tweets that apparently, from what Deadline and all of them are reporting, were unearthed. In other words, they were brought back into light, even though James Gunn had no intention of that happening. So I don't know what the offensive tweets were, but not a lot of people feel that he should have been fired for something that he regretted saying a long time ago and then deleted. You know, a lot of people feel that, that's in the past, leave it in the past. Let's focus on the future. But Disney, being who they are, being family oriented at most times, apparently does not want to be associated with someone like James Gunn. So they put not only did they fire James Gunn, but because of the firing and the fact that they're having some disputes with some of the crew members behind the scenes and on screen, the actors and actresses, they have put Guardians of the Galaxy 3 on hold indefinitely until they can find a new director. My scenario on this is they either find someone new that could basically make Guardians of the Galaxy 3 the way James intended it to be, or maybe try to fix a few things that uh, dissociate them from James Gunn, or enough people will get behind James Gunn and say, look, yeah, he said this, he's regretted it, but guess what? That's in the past. Why don't you just move on and let him do his job? So that could mean James Gunn could come back. Heck, I can understand from Disney's perspective why they would do this. Public relations, they want to look good. They want to look good in the eye of the public, especially being Disney. But then again, I could see it from people and James Gunn's perspective. Like, look, yeah, James Gunn is probably, ashamed of what he said and he regrets it. But but also at the same time, he realizes that he deleted that. He's acknowledging that, hey, I regret what I said, but look, that was a long time ago. I deleted those, or I thought I did. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen here. They're either going to get someone that's going to really is going to be kind of keep that legacy of Guardians of the Galaxy going, or they're going to probably give it time, bring back James Gunn, and maybe let him continue to work on the movie. But like I said, between now and whenever that is, kind of give this fire, if you will, time to simmer down, cool off, and be extinguished. So, to me, it could go either way. But I don't really know what's going to happen. But right now, a lot of the actors and actresses are free to work on other movies till they find someone new or they work something out with James Gunn, I'm guessing. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, James Gunn, will he be brought back? It's hard to say. I think he could. I think honestly, it's up in the air. I mean, we live in a society now to where even the most offensive stuff from the past, even though you didn't mean to say it or anything, could be swept under the rug. If it's unearthed, you basically got to come out yourself and say, look, yeah, I said that and I regret it. You got to basically explain your side of the story. So again, I don't know. I pray maybe they might work. I'm praying like anybody else that they work something out, because I know they want to get this third Guardians movie off the ground. So I'm suspecting that they're going to work something out with James. James might have to do something like community service or some kind of punishment to be able to go back and work on Guardians. So honestly, I think he will be brought back, but I think they're just giving it time for this whole thing to simmer down and cool off and be extinguished. So if you want my honest truth, I think Disney's going to bring him back. They're going to let this fire extinguish and everything, let it cool down. The situation kind of probably just simmer down and everything, cool down, be extinguished before they bring him back. So yeah, I think he'll be brought back, and I think everything will be cool from then. But I think the only way he's going to be brought back is he kind of agrees to serve some kind of probationary period to where he can't tweet, he can't say anything on Twitter or Facebook, for the next maybe 60 days or something. That's what I'm suspecting. Oh, that's basically what I suspect is going to probably happen. So, again, though, my opinion, but I think that's probably what they're going to do. All right, finally, let's talk about what Avengers 4 will be like. Now, like I showed you, I just bought Avengers Infinity War, and from what little I have seen already, the first 20, 30 minutes, holy crap. Holy crap is all I could say, because it's being set up to me that Avengers 4, they're saying it's supposed to be epic, probably the biggest, most epic one out of them all. and I believe that. But here's what I think is going to happen. You got Captain Marvel, who she's going to play a major portion in this. She's going to play a major key factor. She's going to probably have the power to go back in time herself. She's probably going to go back in time, you know, or so I don't know what's going to happen, but she's going to play. She's either going to go back in time, or she's going to play some kind of integral part. It's kind of weird because they're really keeping it hush hush, but it's gonna apparently right now it's going to deal with time travel. So apparently Captain Marvel is probably going to have some kind of time travel ability, or she might be brought into the past by the Watchers, given the time stone in the past, and then go use it to go into the future / past and bring everybody up to date or something. Something's going to happen that's going to involve that. Because you wouldn't have Ant-Man be put in the situation that he was put in at the end of his film if it wasn't for that. And all these set shots and everything that's being leaked out, I think apparently we're going to, like a lot of people are saying, get time and space travel in this film. And it's going to look really, and I think the end result's going to look really good. Do I expect some humor in this? Like we kind of get here in the Infinity War? Oh, absolutely. I definitely expect some humor. I expect maybe when Gamora comes back, because Zoe Saladina, I think that's her name, is coming back. I expect when Gamora comes in face to face with Quinn, the grown-up Gamora, that just for comedic effect, she probably slaps someone, nut shots him. I got a feeling that's probably going to be played into there for comedic effect to really work on that. And I could see Quill being like, okay, I know I deserve that. Because you do that, even in a serious situation, it's basically Gamora acknowledging and maybe knowing about what Quill did that allowed all this to happen by Thanos. And I could see them probably having Gamora play up a line saying, "That's what you get for letting your anger get the best of you again." So I could see something like that maybe happening. Not saying it would, but I definitely see some other factors playing in. Like, I definitely see Eternity showing up in this. I don't know why, but I see Eternity showing up. Because, again, like I said, they're keeping everything tight-lipped. So, Eternity showing up in some form, but probably going to be a female actress that plays her, is, to me, a definite possibility. It's a definite possibility. And I think whoever plays Eternity, however she's brought into the scenario, excuse me there, however Eternity's brought into the scenario, I think she's going to play an integral part in the whole equation. And at the end, I think, honestly, they're going to chuck the Infinity Stones. Like, they'll either give them to the Watchers or they'll give them to Eternity. And they'll say, just chuck those things into the sun or get rid of them. Make sure that nobody finds them. And I think at the end, they're talking about how everything's going to kind of be rebooted, reshot, or retconned somewhat softly, if you will. I got a feeling whoever plays the Watchers, or in this case Eternity, is not only going to chuck those Infinity Stones and put them in places no one else can find them, but they're going to erase everybody, including Thanos' memories of the Infinity Stones' existence and of the event that occurred right then and there that started in Infinity War. They're going to erase all that from people's minds, and maybe erase everything else. Well, not everything else, but erase certain moments during certain events that associated itself with the Infinity Stones and Thanos. Kind of alter certain events so that it's like, yeah, they happened, but you know, minus this, like minus Thanos's influence or invasion, all the stuff happened, but minus everything else, but minus some of the stuff that happened in the first Avengers, that happened in Age of Ultron, that happened in Infinity War, happened in Guardians. You know, certain events that occurred are going to be altered. So that's what I think is going to happen. And the memories are going to be altered. And like I said, memories of the Infinity Stones and stuff are going to be gone. That's how I think it's going to play out in the end when it comes to Avengers 4. I really do. So, but again, like a lot of us, we don't really know because they're kind of being very tight lip on it. So, but that's just my speculation and guess on how Avengers 4 will be like, especially if it's going to end the way I think it's going to end, you know. But anyway, though, that's really all I have to say on that. I can't really say any more. I don't think I have any more to say. Although I will say this, I don't know if I do have a question though for a lot of you, and God, I don't mean this in any offensive way. Lord, you know this, but for any of you that work in retail or any kind of job that involves people using electric carts, whether they're senior citizens, disabled, you name it. For any reason whatsoever, have you ever encountered somebody, and again, God, I don't mean any offense by this, but have you ever encountered somebody that uses an electric cart and just rides around in it for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and all they do is just get like a Slurpee and that's it, and then they just ride around the store, go outside with it, you know, drink, take a drink of the Slurpee or their cold drink or whatever, or take a smoke, and then come back in and continuously ride it around the store, and then do it again, just kind of rinse and repeat for the next 2 to 3 hours. Have you ever dealt with somebody like that? Because it seems my store currently does. And again, Lord, I don't mean any offense by this, but apparently there's an old man, and I don't know what the reason is. Maybe it's a medical condition. Maybe he's meant to do this. Maybe he has an excuse for doing it. I don't know. I don't know the reason. But apparently this guy, around certain times during the day, whether it's noon, 2 o'clock, whether it's around the noon hour or the 2 o'clock hour, comes into the store. He has a cane. So I can understand why he rides the electric cart at times. But he has a cane. He puts the cane in the basket of the electric cart. He gets on it, and he decides to ride around. Now, it would be understandable if he was shopping, but all he does is just ride around, like I said, get a Slurpee, ride around the store, ride around out to the outside, park it, stay on the, and not get up, but just stay on it, smoke, turn it back on, which is the cart, come back inside, ride around again, rinse and repeat. Now, again, I can understand if it's a medical condition and he's meant to do this. But it seems that he does it, but it seems that when he does it, whether it's a medical condition or it's not, or maybe he has medical reasons, medical excuse, I don't know. I mean, he is a senior citizen, again, God, no offense. But he seems to ride it around like he owns it. Like, this is his cart. Nobody takes it. And this gets to the point that, like I said, if it was a medical issue, if he had a medical excuse, we can understand that. But we have other senior citizens or people that are injured or disabled that need to use the cart, and we only have a limited 6 of them. So when 5 of them are being used by people to actually shop with, basically when 5 of them are being used, I should say, by people that are actually using them to shop, And the sixth one is being used by someone that's just riding around for the heck of it. And again, just doing a rinse and repeat of go in, get a Slurpee, then ride around the store, go outside, smoke, come back in, ride around, go back outside and smoke, rinse and repeat. And you have somebody that needs one because they can't walk that much. And this person that basically does this doesn't even have the courtesy to say, oh, you need this. Okay, here you go. I don't need it anymore. He just doesn't acknowledge it. I mean, doesn't even care or even says something like, oh, I don't know. Something that basically indicates that they can't use it. It's like, why? It's like, why are you letting this guy do this? I mean, again, if it's a medical excuse that he has, fine. But if it's just the fact that he's, no offense, God, no offense when I say this, senile or something, I don't know. I really don't know. And in fact, one of my CMSs said that, after they dealt with somebody they had dealt with before and just finally had enough, they basically told me that when I talked to them about this, they said, yeah, that basically what I'm trying to say is when my CMS finally had enough of one person they've dealt with on occasions and even went to AP, if you will, the AP, the security of the store, and talked to them about it, and even some management. When I went and talked to them for a bit and brought up the whole situation with the guy in the cart, my CMS said, yeah, he's basically said, yeah, that's the next person I'm going to take care of. That's the next person I'm going to talk to. Because I think even my CMS that I talked to even feels that even is getting to the point that what this guy is doing is annoying. Now, like I said, unless he has a medical excuse and reasoning, then fine. But if he's just doing it because he believes that's his cart and no one take, and again, Lord, I don't mean any offense by this, and he does it because maybe he's a little bit senile and maybe he thinks he's in another time or he's back in another time or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know. All I can say is we just got to leave it to the Lord above, and He's going to take care of it, because He sees all. Because the Lord above, He sees all, and He knows all. Heck, He knows stuff that's going to happen before it even happens. So He's already got something planned to take care of the situation. I mean, the guy doesn't mean any harm, but it's like when you have other people that need to use a cart, and like I said, 5 of them have already being used up by people to actually shop, and then the others just being used by somebody riding around with no real reason except get a Slurpee, finish a Slurpee, go outside, take a smoke, come back inside, rinse and repeat, and then somebody else needs it, and then when somebody tries to tell them, hey, are you gonna? It's like, and when somebody tries to ask him if he's done using the cart, and he doesn't, and all he basically says is, no, I'm not, or he basically acknowledges in some way that he's not done, or that it's his cart, or something. I don't know. And again, Lord, I don't mean any offense by this, but again, I ask you, have you dealt with something like that in the past, depending on the job you work for? So let me know what you guys. Let me know if you guys have dealt with something like that in the past at your job. But anyway, though, that's basically all I'm going to say for this live edition for Topics on My Mind. And thank you all for watching. And sorry for that. Sorry about that. Just trying to get my phone here. Let's move that. But again, I thank you all for watching. And I'm going to check my live chat while I'm at it. okay, it's not much. But anyway, thank you all for watching live. Thank you all for watching post live after it's been uploaded. But again, let me know what your thoughts are on that last question. And that's all I'm going to say, guys. So thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.